In the 2023-2024 season, Real Madrid won La Liga with 95 points and lifted the Champions League trophy. 1 year later, that same core suffered 15 defeats and ended the season without a single major title. This decline coincides with the arrival of Kylian Mbappé. The club added the world's most prolific scorer to a roster that had just reached the pinnacle of European football. Before his arrival, Madrid functioned without a traditional striker. The squad relied on fluid, collective movement, where midfielders arrived late in the box and the front three rotated to fill every available space. The engine of that winning system was Vinícius Júnior. He occupied the left wing, stretching defenses, and acting as the team's primary outlet for direct, individual threat. But the heat maps tell a new story. Both Mbappé and Vinícius instinctively drift toward the exact same left channel space. Instead of stretching the defense, they are colliding, occupying the same lanes, and forcing the attack to tilt sideways. This overlap has broken the team's functional geometry. Adding the world's best finisher has, in practice, created a crisis of fit that the club's previous structure wasn't built to handle. Supporters often argue that players of this caliber just need more time on the pitch to develop chemistry and find a rhythm. However, chemistry cannot override the physical space of the pitch. When two players require the same 20 yards of grass to be effective, extra minutes together often just lead to more congestion. As both stars pull left, the team loses its width on the opposite flank. Because neither player is a classic number 9, the center of the penalty area often remains empty, leaving no one to meet crosses or pin the opposition's center backs. The midfield pays the price. Without a balanced front line to lead the press, midfielders are forced to cover larger zones during transitions, leading to the defensive gaps that saw the team concede 84 goals. These structural cracks have persisted through multiple formation changes. The club is now facing the possibility that as long as both players occupy the same 11, they may continue to produce two reduced versions of their true potential. One path is to return to the structure that worked, restoring Vinícius Júnior as the undisputed focal point of the left wing. To measure the impact of that move, we use expected threat, or XT. This metric tracks how much a player increases their team's chances of scoring based on where they move the ball. The data shows that Vinícius is the superior engine for the team's offense. He generates a massive 721 expected threat score, while Mbappé, focused more on finishing, registers 438. We saw this play out when Mbappé was sidelined with a knee injury. Without him, the fluidity returned, and Madrid secured 6 wins in 7 matches, with Vinícius running the attack alone. But choosing Vinícius brings a different kind of pressure. He is currently demanding a contract extension worth $35 million a year. Paying that salary would likely force the club to raise wages for other key stars, like Jude Bellingham, potentially destabilizing a financial structure that has taken years to build.
There is also the political cost. Choosing Vinícius means admitting the club's 7-year pursuit of Kylian Mbappé was a tactical error, a move that would be difficult for the board to justify. Rebuilding around Vinícius offers the clearest tactical solution, but it risks creating immediate financial and political friction within the club. The alternative is to commit fully to Kylian Mbappé, centering the entire franchise around his individual output. His individual numbers remain elite. Mbappé led La Liga with 23 goals, maintaining a 25% conversion rate, even while playing in a system that struggled to find its balance. The trade-off is a loss of creative variety. Without Vinícius stretching the pitch, the attack becomes more vertical but less unpredictable, making it easier for deep-lying defenses to track Mbappé's runs. If the club chooses this path, they would likely look to sell Vinícius to fund a traditional number 9 who can actually play alongside Mbappé. However, finding a buyer in Europe is a challenge. Despite his talent, clubs like Chelsea have reportedly shown no interest in meeting his high wage demands. In an era where most top-flight European teams are prioritizing wage control, his current price tag has effectively isolated him from the traditional market. Keeping Mbappé preserves the club's biggest commercial asset. But without an easy exit for Vinícius in Europe, the boardroom is left with a roster problem they cannot easily trade away. This leaves only one viable exit for Vinícius and the club's mounting wage bill, the Saudi Pro League. The numbers involved are unprecedented. Reports suggest a $404 million transfer fee, which, alongside offloading $1.1 billion in wages over 5 years, would drastically alter the club's financial outlook. But that window may be closing. Rumors suggest the scale of these offers is already decreasing, pressuring Madrid to make a decision while the financial upside is at its peak. The Saudi deal represents a major financial bailout for the boardroom. It allows them to keep Mbappé and fix their ledger, but it requires them to move one of their most talented players out of European competition. The dilemma eventually forces a choice between two competing philosophies, prioritizing tactical fluidity on the pitch or maintaining commercial power in the market. At Real Madrid, the final word belongs to a president who has historically prioritized the acquisition of stars. Florentino Perez has a long record of choosing commercial gravity over tactical balance. This leaves the coaching staff in a difficult position, tasked with managing an attack that still lacks a natural focal point through the middle. Given these pressures, the likely outcome is that the club will commit to Mbappé. To resolve the resulting friction, they will accept the Saudi offer and move on from Vinícius. Madrid's next chapter won't be about finding a way for two superstars to coexist. It will be about the tactical rebuild they must undertake after deciding that ego matters more than geometry